Hi, thanks for purchasing Scale. I'm Shane Dodd, Scale Support Engineer, and I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to rack mount your cluster. After you've gathered your two side rails and two of the short flat-headed screws, I have two spots, one for each screw. This will secure the rail into place. Just tighten them down. And then move on to the other side. And that secures both your side rails in place. After having assembled the side rails on the node, now we'll assemble the rack rails. Each rack rail will come in two pieces. You also have an end bracket for each one, and you'll need 3 of the short round-headed screws. To start the assembly, you'll match up your side rail and they'll lock into place. This is where you'll take the first round-headed screw. You don't want to tighten them down to the point that they're extremely tight. You want to let it so that they will slide along. And then we'll do the other one as well. And that's the assembly of the side rails. The end brackets, you want to make sure you have those out. Place them here. Don't lock them down too tight. You still want it to slide a little bit to start with. This will go on the inside of your rack with the outer part of the rail itself on the outside of your rack. And that's all there is to assembling the rack rails. After assembling the rack rails, you'll need to gather 4 cage nuts and 8 cage bolts. Those pieces do not come in your pack. What you want to do is make sure you pop the 4 cage nuts into the back of the rack. Once you have all 4 of those inserted, then you'll be able to go about putting the actual rails into the rack. Now it's time to put the rail in the rack. So what you want to do, make sure you line up your front and rear evenly. If you got an extra set of hands around, you might want to enlist them for this part. If not, you can do it by yourself, just takes you a little bit longer. Don't have to tighten them in immediately. That way you can move to the front and adjust as needed. And when you're doing the front, you won't need the cage nuts because you've added the bracket end. And these you actually will need a screwdriver for because these aren't threaded the same as the nuts, so they're a little tighter to tighten down. And now we're ready to put the node in the rack. Now that you've installed the rails into your rack, it's time to put the node in place. You would line up the side rails of the node with the rails in the rack and slide it into place. That first click is the locks on the rear of the side rails. That click is the ones on the front. Those prevent it from sliding out, preventing any need of a locking bolt in the front. Your first set locks at about 6 inches. There are 2 small plastic levers. One goes up, one goes down. Second set catches and releases the same way. Sliding it back into place. And that's how to rack mount a scale node from beginning to end. Thank you very much.